to earth celebrity of District 120 and the person who passed away in the year 2016 and 17, Toastmaster Sriram. And that people are like, oh my God, who he passed away and he's appearing. And one guy shouted in the chat window, "Sir, can you show your legs? I don't know whether you're a ghost or a human being." So it really happens. And sometimes people put you on a spot of bother. So thank you so much for keeping a simple and elegant introduction. In that way, I really appreciate you, Toastmaster Moish. And the host, could you please just put me on spotlight mode? I'm just going to start with an PPT. So, guys, how are you all? It's been so nice to meet you all after 5 weeks gap. Sorry, I've been a little bit busy with my sessions on the forthcoming. So, how are you all? Just turn on your video and then shout it out. Don't be so obedient. No, the president would do nothing. Don't worry. And even Karishma who don't do anything, don't worry. If she does something, just let me know. I will also obey her all her orders. So just let me know how are you guys. Just turn on your audio and then speak out.
Yeah, awesome, Sriram.
Doing good.
Great, Sriram.
Wow. I hear multiple answers and I get literally confused. So thank you so much. And yeah, so but there is one rule in my session that please turn on your, if you are able to turn on your video, it's good and fine, but please switch on, turn on your mute, just be unmute yourself, because this session I want to make it as interactive as possible. And I spoke to Toastmaster Karishma and she said that, and she's really happy to give an offer that a person who is so interactive in this session and really impresses me with the answers, and that winner would be given a free membership renewal term for this year, right? So if you want to get a free membership offer for this term, just be as interactive as possible, and none of your answers, don't think it's silly or great. It's all answers and it's all your opinion only, right? So be as enthusiastic, keep up the Sunday morning momentum as going as possible, right? And before I start, just wanted to put you a disclaimer note that if you all think that my session was useful today, at least you got one takeaway and it was worth spending your Sunday time, I think that credit goes to Toastmaster Karishma who gave me this opportunity. So thank you so much, Karishma. And on the other hand, if you think that, sir, the 30 minutes which I spent on a Sunday was my worst moment in my life, I should have not attended, I should have had happily a biryani, that credit also goes to Toastmaster Karishma who gave me this opportunity, right? So with this owing, I just move on to the session, and today's session is all about rhetorical devices, right? Now, what is rhetorical devices and why we do rhetorical devices in your speeches? So my session is all about, you have a script with you. Now, how can you inject few rhetorical devices to make your script more appealing and attractive to the audience? Now, just turn on your mics and then see that. Suppose, say for an example, you go to a hotel, right? And you order a soup. Suppose, say I order this tomato soup and the server serves you and he puts it on the table. Now, what is the first thing which you do?
Look at it.
Sorry, Harsh?
We'll look at it.
You look at it. That's a great. We all are only sightseeing people. You look at it.
No, we'll eat it.
You'll eat it. Good.
We'll taste it.
Yeah, you'll paste it. So this is something which we all do it, right? Just search for the salt and pepper and then put it on the soup. No, we all do that. Now imagine that you're boarding a flight.
Cream to it.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
We'll add cream to it.
Yeah, you'll add cream to it. Yeah, that's all the things. I'll take that answer. And suppose you are boarding a flight and the flights has air hostess, right? I mean, that's the one thing which I really love in flights. No, why they have it? Why they want to have a air hostess?
To add, because they are the face of the industry and to keep us, captivated, to keep coming back.
So Harsh, now,
to make the guests comfortable and to make the journey hospitable.
Good. Ash, I really know why you are actually boarding your flight right now.
Why they are using them on the airlines.
Yeah, good answer. Yeah, thank you, Jeetal, and thank you, Amya, to make yourself comfortable. And whenever you board a bus also in the flight, they have this TV, Wi-Fi connections and everything. And it's all just to fit only one purpose. That's it. You do all these adding creams and salts and pepper in your soup just to create that attractiveness and also integrate the taste in the soup. And as Toastmaster Amya said, you all need to have this air hostess, else your session you won't have that smiling face in your journey, just to make your service so comfortable and hospitable, and just to have a good experience. That's it, which enhances your journey. So that's the what the rhetorical devices generally does, right? What it does is that it enhances your script and then provide more appealing factor, more attractive factor to the audience to listen. And that's a simple thing what the rhetorical devices do. I still agree that you will have a plain content. That's fine, absolutely fine. But in order, if you want to do a little bit of more enhancement, get that attractive factor, give those intensity, make audience more attracted, glued to your speech, be with you. Just you inject these rhetorical devices so that your speech becomes more better. And if you, in terms of speaking of rhetorical devices, you have more than 100 rhetorical devices available. So in that, I have picked the basic 10 things which I urge you to include in your speeches next time, so that your speech becomes more attractive and appealing to the audience. So I'm going to share you a few basic things which I generally did in my speeches. First thing, simile. It's a basic thing, right? So what does the simile does? So you just compare a word or a phrase to another thing. It can be likely so. Likely so is one such thing in a simile which you use as, or you can just so as. I mean, as, like. So what you do is you compare your phrase or a word or an object with any other thing. For an example, as cool as cucumber. So MS Dhoni, when he's doing a captainship, is as cool as cucumber. So that's one example. Now, by seeing this picture, can you all just phrase a quick simile for me?
Very as smooth as butter.
As smooth as a butter. Okay, Manvinder is on a Sunday mood.
As fair as tube light.
As pure as tube light. So now I see the Del. Why there is a lot of tube light on your
As
face?
light.
As glowy. Yeah, as glowy.
As glowy. Yeah.
Yes, but
As sweet as sugar.
as sweet as sugar. Beautiful. Now, if you want to compare this girl picture and this roses with her action, can you just compare it?
As pink as roses.
As
red.
Yeah, as red as roses. That's a beautiful answer.
As precious as gold.
Wow, a lot of good answers, man. If I say this one right, I can say her cheeks are as Lucas as roses. That's one thing. Or her smile looks like Toastmaster Path Middle. You can compare it. Whenever I see a person who does a self-talk, I see him as Toastmaster Bhavya. You can compare it, right? So she looks so beautiful like Toastmaster Karishma. That's one more thing which you can add it. If you want to see this picture, the lion picture?
As brave as lion.
Yeah, as brave as lion. I think Toastmaster Path is your English teacher for you guys.
As dominant as lion, perhaps.
As dominant as lion. That's why Manvinder is always dominant in the meeting. Good. So these are the few
As
examples.
majestic as a lion.
As majestic as lion. Yes, you are majestic VP Education Officer, Toastmaster Ramya. So these, yeah, now you know how to just inject. So whenever you have a phrase, right, try to compare it so that you get more attention from the audience. Beautiful. So next one, extremely kind of a simile, which is called a metaphor. What this metaphor does is that generally this also you just relate your word or a phrase, okay? You just relate to extremely to another particular thing. And mostly similes are that you compare it which are more likable. So you just, if you say a smile looks like Toastmaster Amya smile, which means that you can feel it, you can see it, you can measure it. But in general, metaphors are something which people can't compare. It's literally untrue. That's what they say. For an example, his speak went viral. So the words which were spoken for positivity by Toastmaster Bhavya was spreading out like cancer. So you can't go just measure the words when you compare it with a cancer. So these are the comparative terms which generally people use. Okay. For an example, if somebody can give me an example for this.
He is a shining star.
Wow, Zarina, you are a shining star for this club. Beautiful. Now this picture.
Long hair.
I want a metaphor. I want a metaphor.
Okay.
As mystic as this. As mystic as a sage.
As mystic as a sage. Wow, Sanjeev. Yes, Manvinder, you just said something.
As
I could
dense
say
as forest.
our hair looks so dense as a forest in Africa, perhaps.
Wow, as a forest.
As
That's
long
a
as
good
Amazon
comparison.
River.
Yes, sorry, Hari Krishna, I missed
As
it.
long as Amazon River.
As long as Amazon. That's vertical. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's what my next answer was actually. So now when you compare the girl's hair to this picture, I think Hari Krishna can easily frame it out. Can you frame it out?
Yeah. As long as
As long as flowy river.
As long as a flowy river, beautiful. So this one you can just say that.
As unstoppable as river.
As
Or-
unstoppable as her. Yes, the hair keeps on growing. Yeah, that's a beautiful answer. Yeah. So you can just
Her hair are river.
how yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. So that's my example. He is a shining star. No, like Toastmaster Anida is a shining star. Her long hair was flowing like a golden river. So that is also one comparison. So you just play with your comparison techniques. That's it. That's what is metaphor is. Next is one of the most interesting thing which I really loved is this oxymoron. You all know what oxymoron is that. So when you have two words, it's a two words or a phrase where the two words are actually exactly opposite to each other. That's we call it as an oxymoron. For an example, right? Silent war. Silent and war are two extreme opposites.
Yeah. Ashika, sorry.
Happily married.
Happily married. Yeah, that's a good one. Good example.
That's pretty good. So I often use one particular one, which is the most successful failure.
Most
So that's
successful
an-
failure. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now you guys are great in oxymoron.
Lovely cry.
Lovely cry. Yeah, after this session, there will be definitely a lovely cry from Toastmasters Arena.
Alone together.
Alone together. Good one. So an example now. See, Hari Krishna laughed. At the moment when I showed this picture, Hari Krishna did not laugh. Now after seeing her picture, he's laughing.
I just got an example like split out.
Split out. Okay. So this picture.
Amazingly awful.
Amazingly awful. Yeah, that's a good oxymoron. Beautiful. Now,
Bittersweet.
bittersweet. Good one. This picture.
And I like this.
Sugar coated poison.
Sugar coated poison. Wow.
Clearly confused.
Clearly confused. That's a
Knowingly
good one.
confused.
Knowingly confused. Beautiful answer. So these are my answers. Just awfully pity. No, clearly confused. Open secret, and all the answers which you said was right. I think this club doesn't require this session at all, man. You guys are rocking in terms of. You have a lot of English professors over here. Beautiful. So let us quickly go on to this alliteration part. Now, alliteration, you all know, right? Whenever you attend a division conference or a district conference, they generally come up with this kind of a tagline. No, for an example, educate, enrich, and entertain. It's all that the initial, the first letter, right? The first consonant always start with the same letter. And I could see many people when they're humorous speeches, when they say about love failure, they use it. After her response, I was devastated, disappointed, and deprived. No, if you see the starting letter of all those three actions starts with the letter D. For an example, educate, enrich, and entertain. No, all these letters starts with E. So that's we call it as an alliteration. So one example, after seeing this picture, can anyone say? I just want to say something. Hari Krishnan just turned off his video all the more. Whenever I showed Priyanka Chopra picture, that one he just turns on the picture. I don't know why. Now I showed this ice cream picture, he went away.
The creamy cone.
Yeah, creamy cone, that's a good one. But I'm just trying to have an alliteration so that you have minimum of 3 letters. 3 words.
Creamy, crusty cone.
Yeah, creamy, crusty cone. See, oh yeah, I know.
Creamy
you love ice cream.
chocolatey cone.
Creamy, chocolatey cone.
Creamy crunchy cone.
Beautiful, beautiful. All answers are good. So this is one thing. So you say chilled, creamy, cornet. So cornet is another word of an ice cream, which I found it out when I was preparing a speech on ice cream. So cornet is another word of ice cream. So this one. Another example is this one. No, this cherryble tiger tore the towel. This one of things. So these are the few things which you can try it out in your speeches whenever you want to express a feeling. This really works out beautiful. Now, what is exaggeration? I think this all we do whenever we prepare this humorous speech, right? Exaggeration. From the term itself, we all know just goof it up. No, just goof it up. Just exaggerate as much as you can. For an example, whenever I see a beautiful girl, I feel that myself that I'm on top of the world. No, it's simply you can't just go and measure it, but indirectly you can feel it. And beautiful example, which I really love, exaggeration is from this man. How many of you have seen his commentary?
Yes.
No, yes, irrigation. Yeah, that's exaggeration. Anyone can share one example of Navjot Singh Sidhu.
Gagan Chumbi Chakka.
If you say it in Hindi, I don't know, man. Only Hindi which I know is egg
The pitch is dead as a dodo.
Yeah, dead as a dodo. Yeah, that's a good one example. But
Okay. Talking faster than wind.
talking faster than wind. Yes, I come to that example little bit later, ma'am. So the one example which I really loved is this one. The ball just went up in the air and kissed the hair hostess and came.
Yeah.
Whenever when Saurav Ingle hits sixer, this is what he generally does. I think that's is called exaggeration, no?
Yeah.
He just compares this ball, the action when it went up into the air, it just kissed the hair hostess and came. So literally it can't happen, but he's just exaggeration.
Yeah. Inzamamul Haq runs slower than my grandmother.
Yeah, that's a good example. Lovely. You should be a cricket commentator then. For this example, can anyone see it by looking at this picture? This was a picture. Any expression which will come into your mind, you can just share it. See, whenever I show Kamal Haasan picture also, Hari Krishnan is not turning on his video.
Devotion.
Emotion. Okay, I want an exaggeration, ma'am.
No, devotion, like to a.
Yeah, devotion is a phrase, but I just want to have something like a phrase or something like that, not even a word, because exaggeration works really well when you do a phrase. Okay, for example, let me put it this.
I can see the God.
Yeah, you can see the God. So whenever I see God, I was on cloud nine. You can say it up. Like anything, any phrase, just exaggeration works well with a phrase rather than a word. So it's all
Trying for the call of the God.
trying for the fall of the God. That's a good one. Yeah. See,
Is as delighted as if he has become the president of Toastmasters.
Yeah, you're talking about Toastmaster Moish, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now hyperbole. Now, what is
profound dedication?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Profound dedication. Beautiful. I think we went up. We are now. You are able to see my next slide, right? Hyperbole.
Yes.
So hyperbole is, let's for an example which Parth, Toastmaster Parth mentioned, is that he runs as fast as a wind. No, that's an hyperbole. So a difference between a small exaggeration and hyperbole is exaggeration you can just feel it as well. You can just have little bit consideration that I can compare it. But hyperbole is a superlative degree of exaggeration, which really can't happen. Okay, even an Inzamam can run slower than a grandmother, but Inzamam
like a log, sleeping like a log,
sleeping like a log. Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, that's
hogging
an exaggeration.
Hogging like a pig.
Yeah, hogging like a pig. Even that I would consider as an exaggeration because you can hog like a pig. But if you take this example, he's running faster than the wind, which is completely immeasurable. So that we call it as an hyperbole. To answer Parth's, ma'am, when you said he runs faster than the air, it's all like it's an hyperbole. Now, can you just give me an example of an hyperbole?
Usain Bolt is.
He's eating like an elephant.
You can say
Eating like a pig.
Eating like a pig, eating like an elephant. Yeah, I know.
you can say I had a ton of hard homework. I had a ton of homework.
I had a ton of homework. Oh yeah, I think like English grammarian is having a very tough day today. Beautiful. Okay, yeah, all your answers here. Eating like a pig, what it happens is that it comes as an exaggeration. You eat like a pig, but you just add this small thing, right? I say I'm
eating like Bhima, Bhim.
Okay, eating like Bhima. That's a good answer. But if I say here, I could eat like a horse. So that's a small twist. Even I could say one gulp of a drink, I drink like elephant. So which means that when I'm comparing this gulp, right, gulp becomes my hyperbole and rest of it falls under exaggeration. So you can play with your words. So I could say one of my bite was like a horse. So that a bite and you compare it with a horse bite, it is an hyperbole. So I could eat like beam was a good example. Now for this one. See, Hari Krishnan always turns on the video whenever I show a girl picture. I don't know why. But anyway, I enjoy.
It's already on.
Okay, I want an answer from you, Hari Krishnan. That's why I picked your name.
Okay.
Anyone else? Toastmaster Bhavya?
As bright as moon.
I want a hyperbole.
Dreaming like Cinderella.
Dreaming like Cinderella. That's a good one.
She is softer than a dove.
Yeah. Softer than dog.
Smooth
Yeah.
like a sponge.
Yeah. Sponge comes under exaggeration, but this one little bit. Your skin is, when I say particularly, your skin is softer than silk. Silk generally after we weave, we actually compare it, right? But
as
as
relaxed as snow on the mountain.
As relaxed as snow on the mountain. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good hyperbole. That's a beautiful. But when you just deliver hyperbole, just make sure
Your skin is softer than silk.
Your skin is your. Thank you for the appreciation, ma'am. I really owe you. Let me give you the transfer the money as well. No problem. Okay, these are the beautiful examples which you can say. Just play with it. But only one thing is that whenever you give an exaggeration or hyperbole, make sure that you deliver with high energy. Sidhu is the best example for that. Now, amplification. So what amplification does? It's very simple. You say a word, and if you want to increase the intensity of that word or an emotion, you just multiply it. You can multiply it with the same word, or you can use any other word as well. Right? You got it? That's amplification. For an example, his face is so red. Guys, so red. So if I want to increase the intensity of the redness and the face, right, I repeat it again. Right? I want a perfect house in a perfect neighborhood. Right? So I want a perfect house in a perfect place. That's what I just want to say it. Any example which you can say for amplification? Yes, Toastmaster Sunny.
Yes, Sunny Mehta here. On seeing my report card, my dad was just so angry.
Okay, beautiful. What I suggest is, after seeing my marks in my report card, my dad became angry. So angry, like a Harry Potter villain. So like that, you need to compare it. Okay. So for an example, I'd say, after witnessing my session, VP Education of this club said openly to all the members, guys, let's not have Sriram session again. He was so bad. Guys, not bad, so pathetic. Such a worst experience I witnessed. So that would be one example of amplification. So you just amplify to increase the intensity. That's amplification, right? So Sunny, you just got
on meeting my friend after 6 months, my happiness amplified 100 times.
Yeah, that's a good. That's called a direct amplification. That's a good one. Happiness increased by 100 times. That's a good word. Yeah, beautiful.
Amitabh Bachchan is not only legend in India but in the world.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So your speech has been so wonderful as it can be.
Wonderful as can be. Thank you, Manvi. The first time when I switched on my video, you said you look so smart. I look so smart. I'll consider of that VP membership offer for you. Oh, now,
after she accepted my proposal, I was happy, very happy.
Yeah, happy, very happy. Beautiful. That's a good one. So allusion. What's allusion is? Guys, very simple. You compare. Generally, what people do this allusion is that whenever they want to compare a non-living thing with a living thing, that's it. Very simple as such. Okay. For an example, my car always wears a green sari, which means that my car is actually painted green. That's it.
मेरा room बंद कर दे.
Okay, my room in Qadar, I'm not sure whether that's an allusion or not. Okay, no problem. No problem. So, with this picture, can anyone say one example for allusion? It's a Sherlock Holmes picture. You can just say an allusion. Okay, let me put a small example. I am not Sherlock Holmes. As smart as smartphone comes under simile, sir. So I just say, I'm not Sherlock Holmes to figure it out. So I compare Sherlock Holmes, who's a detective who generally solves a lot of puzzles. So when you want to compare it, a non-living thing, puzzle, and Sherlock Holmes living thing, you just do it. Now with this picture.
I can see the murderer in these pictures.
I can see the murderer in these pictures. Yeah, that's a good one. Murder, and you compare the picture. Beautiful. With this girl picture, Hari Kishan smiles always.
I'm not Katrina Kaif. Smiling.
Somebody said, yeah, I know.
I'm not Katrina Kaif to pose for you.
I'm not Katrina Kaif to pose for you. Beautiful. Pose and Katrina Kaif. That's a good one.
She's giving a pose like she would be a manicure.
Oh, she is a manicure. Okay, you compare manicure and her post. Very simple example. Her smile was like Mona Lisa. Right? If I want to compare it with this club, right, her smile was like Toastmaster Asta. She's fond of smiling. That's good. But whenever you use this rhetorical devices, only one suggestion is that make your phrase very crisp, very short. Don't take it too much long. Then the intensity goes off. So make it as crisp as possible. So that's an example for allusion. Now, what's a triad? That's one of the interesting things which I generally love it. No, triad always comes in the form of rhyming. Whenever you see a rhyming sentence, right, you'll just look for triad. And also the good thing about triad is that triad generally forms with rhyming of 3 words. And most important is all the 3 words will give different actions. For an example, east or west. Oh, what happened? My sharing gone. Okay, let me share it again. So where did I leave? Okay. So you're all able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me just quickly go. So triad generally forms this rhyming device, and all the three words will have three different actions. For an example, in a sentence, ice cream and nuts combination will give you a sensation which is way beyond your imagination. So the three rhyming words here are combination, sensation, and imagination. First category, they are rhyming words. And all the three words have different meaning. So that's what we call it as a triad. For example,
We say,
Sorry to
I'm not
interrupt. I have a
bossy, I'm
question
the
here.
boss.
I'm not bossy, I'm the boss. That comes under dyad. That's the second one. Dyad generally has two rhyming words and the two words of an action. Triad is a three word. And similarly, you can use a quadruple or anything. So that's the basic difference between a triad and dyad. Generally, people, when they use rhyming sentence, they generally go with this. Like, twinkle, twinkle, little star, our President Karishma is the superstar. So you have this rhyming sentence over here. That's a dyad.
I just have one question, Sriram. Does the triad always need to be a rhyming word? I believe that
Triad, yeah, that's a good question. Triad need not be, not be a rhyming word. Okay, need not be a rhyming word. It has three actions, but generally make it rhyming. We call it as triad. But what you said is 80%. I agree. I have still inquired with my English professor. It need not be rhyming, but preferably rhyming is more. We call it as a triad. Right?
It can convey. It can convey the same emotion or feeling.
Yes,
like,
that's also right.
I was shocked. I was shocked. I was shocked, stunned, and devastated.
Yeah,
so,
that's also That's also we can. Yeah, that's also correct. Three words, three actions. That's the only thing. But if it's preferably rhyming, then you call it as a 100% triad. That's what one dictionary says. But what you said is absolutely correct. Just three words, use it, three actions. That's wonderful. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So one of the things, what I'll do, if you have any questions, we'll definitely have it at the end of the meeting. So just leave it short of time. I just want to rush it up. So this is called an onomatopoeia, where people use sounds in their speeches. For an example, cuckoo, buzz, bow, bow. No, the dog barked, bow, bow, just stabbed me. So you just use the sounds as your rhetorical devices to intensify. That's it. Beautifully is intensify. For an example, one thing is that I can say gush. Now the flood water gushed throughout the town. So whenever you say the word gushed, you mix up with an action, gushed throughout the sound, right? The howl in the tree. So that's why you play with your sounds in your phrases. That's called onomatopoeia. Okay. And the last one which I want to say is analogy. I think analogy is one of the favorite thing which many speakers use it, and it's just like you compare two things. Simile, you compare a likable thing. Metaphor, you compare which is extremely not measurable. And analogy is just also the simile and metaphor form comes under this analogy part. You just compare two things. That's called an analogy. For an example, you all know this movie Three Idiots, right? This guy comes and gives a statement. Life is like a race. So you compare life and the race to indicate a meaning. That's a simple example. Another example is life is a box of chocolate. So whatever needs to happen will happen. So to say that, just say life is a box of chocolate, where you compare life and a box of chocolate. So that's one example. Next is anaphora. So anaphora is nothing but the repetition of the words or an expression. For suppose you have a sentence, the first part would be repetition of the same word. That's, we call it as an anaphora. For an example, I came, I saw, I conquered. So this word I is an anaphora. Suppose for an example, we cannot dictate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot dict. No, so the we cannot is an anaphora. So this is one such example. And next, the extreme opposite of anaphora is this epistrophe. So epistrophe is that where in a sentence you have the last word as a repetition. For an example, the famous from the Abraham Lincoln, right? It's there for the people, by the people, and of the people. So that word people is an epistrophe. For an example, I came as a child, I spoke as a child, I hold the award like a child after winning the best table topic. So the child, the word child, right, comes as an epistrophe. So that's the difference. Anaphora is your starting word will be repeated, right? And epistrophe is your ending word. somebody started yawning as well. So let me, Duptendu has started yawning and is seeing a lot of exercises. So let me quickly finish. So this is energy clauses, which I came across recently. This is where whenever you have a sentence, right? Suppose you have two sentences or a two phrase. What you do, the last word of the first phrase and the starting word of the second phrase is generally repeated. For an example, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering. Right? This is a phrase. And if you see anger was the last word, and then start of my second verse, anger was the first word. Like that, the hate. Right? So that we call it as energy clauses. Can anybody say one example for this by combining all these four pictures?
Toastmaster leads to fear, fear leads to knowledge, knowledge leads to power.
Beautiful. That's a good example, Hari Krishan. Yeah, you will get your 50% of your membership renewal. One more, probably what I can say is that in Toastmasters, generally we come and fail. When you fail, you learn. When you learn, you become a champion. So that's one thing which you can say. So just try to play with these anaphorists. That would work out very well. So with this, I come to this end of my session I have just given you. So based on your understanding, I'm going to test your intellectual levels. So I have few examples. So I require answers from you what rhetorical devices is all about. So this one, his cupboard is as safe as a locker. What rhetorical device is this?
Simile.
Simile. Beautiful. Good guys. I'm very happy. Laser show at the conference was ravishing, radiating, and glittering. I think this example would answer Toastmasters Sunny.
Sunny, it's a triad.
Yeah, it's a triad.
Thank you.
That's a triad. So Sunny, now you got the difference. You can
Yes.
still say this as a triad. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful guys.
Thank you.
Now his body temperature is hotter than Mercury.
This is
It's exaggeration.
Exaggeration. Okay.
Exaggeration.
Okay. Okay. But this comes
Hyperbole. Yeah.
Your answers are partly right, but this comes under a metaphor.
Oh.
Okay, so metaphor is like when you compare it, you're comparing the body temperature of a person with a mercury. So that's a small difference whenever you play with rhetorical devices. Okay, this one, what she said was a confirmed rumor.
Oxymoron.
Oxymoron, beautiful. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful guys. Wow. Her love acceptance made me fly in the air.
Hyperbole.
Hyperbole. Yeah, that's a good one. Hyperbole. Yeah, good one. Good one. Not an exaggeration. Exam will be a car crash if you fall behind.
Amplification.
Amplification. That's a good one. And also this, you can say it as analogy as well, because when you're failing in an examination, what it happens. So analogy also comes part 50%, but good one. Now my last one. Life is like a roller coaster ride.
This is analogy.
It's analogy.
Analogy. Beautiful guys. Beautiful. Yes, Amia, you want to say something?
No, nothing.
No, just say it. Not a problem. You just said
My
an answer.
answer was wrong. I realized that.
Oh, okay, no problem. So no answer is wrong, but you're just correcting it. That's what you just learned. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. So thank you so much. By answering your quiz questions, I feel happy that I have given you some takeaways, some learning in this Sunday lunchtime. So thank you so much for being so interactive. So with this, I like to end my session saying that rhetorical devices, see, your speeches would have this ice cream part, your fruit, your nuts. Your speech will have that perfect content, characterization, delivery aspect, content aspect, everything. But if you present your speech in this manner, that is, if I mix ice cream, fruits, nuts, wafers, and then present it in a more appealable manner, then use the rhetorical devices, because that rhetorical device is called that Faluda for you guys. You have ice cream in it, you have nuts in it, you have fruits in it, you have wafer in it, you have creams on it. Just present your speech in a more garnishing way. Make that ice cream into Faluda. Just add those rhetorical devices to your content. Your Faluda would be the amazing and one of the best Faluda. Like how I have witnessed such a one of the best audience in my session. So interactive, so patient, so tolerable. Sunny, I'm using a lot of triads here as well for you, man. Thank you so much. With
Thank you
this,
so much,
I'm so
Sriram.
happy like this Faluda, because after answering all your questions, I'll be at the end of the meeting answering all your questions, but thank you so much for your patience. And I really loved having you, and I really loved taking this session over here, because this is some session which I'm trying it online rather than at physical, this rhetorical device. So I hope it worked out well. And few people, I just want to say sorry, because if I pulled your name in an impolite manner, just to invoke the lighter moment, nothing else, nothing personal or intentional, just to invoke lighter moment. And with this, I would like to say appreciate Toastmaster Sunny, Hari Krishnan, and Toastmaster Amya for being so interactive. And please speak with the treasurer and get your VP membership renewal free of cost. With this, I would like to hand over the control back to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you so much. And I'll stay at the end of the meeting so that I can answer all your questions. Thank you so much.
Brilliant
Thank you,
session,
Sriram.
Sriram. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Awesome.
Awesome.
Now, guys, let's give a huge round of applause to Sriram. Thank you. I was taking notes. Sriram, I was taking notes like my life depended on it. Really, to me, it felt like a political rally. And I saw 44 members joined today. And I think this was our max, if I'm not wrong. And it felt like a Modi and Trump rally. You were so persuasive, like a god. And I'm not as eloquent as you. So I would say that you took out the time for us. So thank you again. And we are lucky to have you, a distinguished Toastmaster, to join us. And lastly, I would say, twinkle, twinkle, little star, Sriram is our superstar. So thank you very much, Sriram.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. But I'll stay the entire meeting, and also at the end, people you have questions, please do reach out to me. I'll stay at the end of the meeting. I'll be happy to answer all your questions. Just because of time, I couldn't want to just disturb the entire meeting. So with this, I hand over the control. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. We will keep bothering you. Don't worry. Okay. Thanks. Now, guys.